Hello, my name's Liz. I'm going to give you an IELTS practice speaking test. First, I will give you instructions. Then I will give you your speaking test. If you have read the instructions before on my website, you can click here to start your test immediately. For this test, you will need a pen, a piece of paper, a recording device, for example, your telephone, so that you can record your answers when you speak, and also a timer so that you can control the time in the test. There are 3 parts to this test. Part 1 is the interview. Part 2 is a talk. And Part 3 is a chance for you to answer questions about a world issue or abstract questions. The moment I begin to ask the first question, you must start your recording device and also your timer. This way you will know the length of the test. The test should take no more than 11 to 14 minutes for all parts. Now let me give you some instructions so that you know how to work this test. After the first question, pause the video and answer the question. When you've finished answering, start the video again and listen to the next question. Pause after you listen and answer the question. Continue pausing and answering the questions until you finish part 1. There are 12 questions in part 1, the same as your real IELTS speaking test. Part 1 can never be more than 5 minutes. After part 1, you will have part 2. That's the talk. I will give you the topic. The cue card, the topic card, will appear on the screen. I will explain that you will have 1 minute to prepare. You will need your pen and paper for that. The time for preparation, 1 minute, will be timed in the video, so don't worry about that. I will tell you when to start speaking. Your talk must last for more than 1 minute, but less than 2 minutes. At the end of 1 minute, a button will appear. So if you finish your talk early, you can jump to part 3. But it is important to try and keep talking for 2 minutes. At the end of 2 minutes, I will stop you if you're still talking to move on to part 3. After part 2, there will be part 3. I will ask between 5 to 6 questions for part 3. Just like in part 1, you need to listen to the question in the video, press pause and give your answer. When you've finished your answer, press the video to play again and listen to the next question. You need to continue pausing and answering the questions until the end of part 3. Part 3 lasts more than 4 minutes but less than 5 minutes. So again, if you are taking less than 4 minutes, you're not giving long enough answers. Part 3 only has 5 to 6 questions, so that means you need to give long answers. Give lots of detail and lots of examples. And at the end of the test, I will give you a link so that you can get all the model answers for the test. Let's start your IELTS practice speaking test. Let's talk about your hometown. Where is your hometown? Do you like your hometown? Are there any old buildings in your hometown? How could your hometown be improved? Let's move on and talk about food. What's your favourite food? Was there any food you disliked when you were a child? Where do you usually buy your food from? What do you consider is a healthy diet? Let's talk about sport. Do you like sport? Did you play much sport as a child? What is the most popular sport in your country? Do you think men and women like similar sports? I'd like to move on now, and I'm going to give you a topic to talk about. You will need pen and paper for this part. You will have 1 minute to prepare, and you need to speak for 2 minutes. I would like you to describe a book you recently read. Could you start making notes now? I will let you know when it's time to begin speaking. Could you start speaking now, please? Thank you. I'd like to move on now and talk more about reading. What's the difference between a fiction and non-fiction book? Do you think people read more today than they did in the past? How could parents encourage their children to read more? Why do you think some adults like to read books that are written for children? What do you think are the advantages of an e-book? Do you think that paper books will one day disappear? That's the end of your IELTS practice speaking test. Now let me give you some more useful links to help you practice your IELTS speaking.